Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. I wasn't sure if we start at 10 past or half past, so I thought I'm just dialing in now.
Me too. I just saw an agenda 10 past, so I have been waiting in the waiting room. So
Yeah.
Hi, Annette. Hey, Momo.
Hi, Tanuj. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Sorry, just sorting the connectivity out. I know my camera is a bit dodgy. And I noticed that our meeting instances actually ran out. So last meeting was the last meeting on that occurrence. I need to figure out how to extend it. It's good that we are able to connect to this one. Let me. I'm just quickly gonna update the polls and then be with your. So good job, Momo, on your first meeting. I think very good participation, I would say, for the speeches and everything.
Thank you, but I'm not so sure if Aditi can make it or not.
Yeah, and so I saw that note. That's okay. I mean, these things happen, and we need to
Sure.
factor that in, and which is why when we spoke last, I said that
Yeah, at least
always we should have like 4 speakers lined up,
yeah.
because one or the other person may cancel out.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. Yes. Well, yeah. I feel like I'm surviving, but should be the last day of the survival. Should things at work should come down tomorrow.
Hey, Flora. Okay, so Aditi is not in, so just Annette and
Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Satya.
Satya.
Hi.
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 How are you?
Yeah, doing good. Last time I was a guest, and today I joined the club.
Yeah, it
Happy
was
about
great. Yeah, I was glad to hear that. I think you're our first new member from the new years of Trojan, or sorry, Toastmasters starting in July. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, so Satya, you bring a lot of good luck for us.
Okay.
So am I wrong in saying this? I think you expressed some interest in joining the committee as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Flora, over to you.
Oh yeah,
on
I
that.
didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
even
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
So maybe in Satya we can find a new secretary or treasurer, whichever she wants to participate with, of course. So Satya, I think it'll be good if maybe Flora and you can have a chat sometime after the meeting.
Yeah, sure.
And because we still are looking for a few people in the committee, and I'm speaking as past president, but of course Flora can express.
Okay.
We are still, and there's lots to do. And I found out the more I know about actually what's happening behind the scene. I think especially when we are, moving from one committee or from one team to another one. And I think also maybe, I don't know if it's busier as well because it's the summer and there's maybe less people available for meetings, and there's a lot of things happening that needs to happen at the start. So we're also considering what to do with returning to the church or keeping in the Zoom meetings. So yeah, there's plenty to do over the summer.
Absolutely.
I guess it's just so much uncertainty. It's just like a lot of things can just change. Yeah, so
Yeah, that was my question as well. Like, because obviously next week they're lifting all the restrictions, and yeah, I'm not very confident that we will stay like this. We're probably heading towards another lockdown.
Yeah, a lot of cases are rising also.
I guess at the moment I am in France, so I will not see that change. But it's good. I just wonder how people will react, if they actually will really be thinking like COVID is over, or just being more realistic. We'll see.
Yeah, I can travel as well. Go back to Germany over the summer.
Are you doing it? Do you know when you are going, or do you?
No, not yet, because I don't want to quarantine 2 weeks on the way back, because I have a small child and it's just like a hassle. For 10 days, so So yeah, I hope that they will release all the restrictions now. I think in August they were saying that double vaccinated people don't need to quarantine anymore when they come back from an EMPA country. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I lost the audio feed for a moment there in case anything I needed to contribute to, but let's just try that.
So, Momo, then if Aditi can't come, then I'm dropping from the evaluator, is that right?
I think it's Dale who will be dropping from evaluator.
Okay.
Oh, okay, because she messaged me like 10 minutes ago and said she will be my evaluator.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind,
So-
to be fair, I don't mind dropping because I was actually trying now to prepare for it. So, if Dale has
So
already done it.
Yeah, if you want to, Flora, you can be the Heart Master because I think Nishtha is doubling up as Heart Master, isn't she? Oh, sorry. Momo suggested she would be the Heart Master. Sorry, my bad.
Hi, Simon.
Hi guys.
Hey, Simon.
Hi.
Hey. So Satya, since we have a few minutes before we start, can I quickly check? Are you comfortable with the timekeeping? Do you know what are the general principles? What are to call out? And
Yeah, I think I know, but this is
Okay.
my first time doing. So if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
doing
of course.
anything wrong, you had to bear with me.
There'll be lots of firsts coming your way. So, and trust me, every meeting is its own, its own animal in many ways. But if you, so do you have few things I would say is that number one, have the agenda in front of you. And on the agenda, generally we call out for the key components, the speeches, there'll be 3 time stops, the first, then the middle and the last. And as you would have seen it in previous meetings, so we call out green, yellow, and then red. You start to alert people after 30 seconds have lapsed from the last time stop. So for the speeches, for example, if Annette, as nice her speech might be, if she goes past 7 minutes 30 seconds, you may want to alert her that, hey Annette, you need to stop, because you are the as timekeeper, you are the master for keeping us to time. But don't worry, it will be a fun experience, and enjoy yourself and don't stress out too much. The other thing I would say is that you are supposed to evaluate the speakers as well as the evaluators. When I did my first timekeeping, I completely lost track that I was supposed to evaluate the evaluators. Timekeep the evaluators as well. So yeah, with those 2 things covered, I think you should be good to go. And of course, see what you feel comfortable with. Bring in your own personality to the timekeeping as you like. How are you showing the time stops? Do you have some props, or are you using?
Yeah, I'm using the background.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to test them now? We have time.
Yeah, I can test it. So this is
Yeah,
green,
very good.
amber, and red.
Superb. You're already doing better than most of us do.
Seriously,
So,
I think background is the best way to do the timekeeping,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Hi everyone.
Absolutely.
Hi Satya.
Hey,
Hi.
Sumit.
Hi.
So
I
yeah.
have a quick question, guys. It seems I was I had put myself for evaluating Aditi, but when I'm just looking at the agenda, I am for Irina. Just want to check with you. I haven't really heard back from anyone as to like what their objectives are at the moment. So who is doing what?
So number one, Aditi is not able to make the meeting because she had work complications. So it'll be Annette and Irina as and when. So Irina is not here yet. So as and when Irina joins us.
Sure.
So between the two, I think so. Flora said that she is happy to step away as an evaluator. So right now, Dil and you are evaluating. I would say Dil. Just going sequentially, so Dil can evaluate Annette, which I think is on the agenda as well, and you are evaluating Irina then.
Sure. And Flora, so have you heard back from Irina on her objectives? Like, not yet. Okay.
No, so to be fair, I haven't really checked during the day. I was just opening the agenda and I just saw actually I was evaluating Aditi, and then I knew she was not coming, so I just asked.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, So
Sumit, I would say that you can probably refer to your objectives for level 1 second speech, because Irina is doing her second pathway. It's the same objectives across. So she started the new pathway now, and she's doing second speech on that pathway.
Okay, let me just get from the Toastmasters manual.
Yeah. So you have time because it'll be Annette first and then Irina.
Do you have the template? I find it useful to use the checklist from Toastmaster in terms of the evaluation.
I haven't got the template as of now. Like I'm going onto the website of the Toastmaster International just to download the template from there.
Okay, yeah, because it's quite useful.
The fun question: how many of you enjoyed the results from Sunday evening?
It was to be expected.
Yes.
It was expected. How so?
Well, in the sense that when it came to penalties,
like that. Yes.
I think, I mean, it was good because if you were neutral, you had the match, extra time and penalties. So from that point of view, it was well worth it. But yeah, I feel sorry for Gareth Southgate. I think he's a thoroughly decent chap. Right. And I'd have liked him to have, and obviously the team as well, I'd have liked him to have been able to raise the trophy, but there you go.
Something to look forward to, I'd say.
Yes, in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, if you had won, what would you have said? Because you keep saying, he will come home tonight or he's coming home, but if he had been home, then what would have said?
They'd have been singing Sweet Caroline.
Like that, you can keep asking for it.
Yeah. I think part of me felt good that it didn't happen because I was scared that there'd be massive rioting and
yes,
celebrations could go awry. So
actually, that's why I was rooting for Italy at the on that day.
No,
I received a very fun graphic. Let me see if I can't put it up on Zoom, but maybe I'll show it on my camera. Sorry, Simon, you were saying something. Carry
I was
on.
going to say, if it was inevitable that if Italy won, there'd be problems afterwards with regards racism, etc. It's a shame it happened, but have you seen the picture of the man who had a red flare in his bottom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some quite good Twitter comments about it.
So I received this on WhatsApp from a friend. What it shows is that if I read it for you, so the people who are rooting for England, of course, are shown in England. People who are rooting for Italy were shown in green, and everybody else who wanted England to lose is in blue. So that's, almost all of the world, because
I've seen a similar one with the map of Europe and every other country apart from the UK supporting Italy.
Yeah, I think there it made sense, because I think there is a bit of what do you say, bring the top guy down kind of attitude, right? So hey Nish, so I see Irina is here as well, and so we are good for the speakers and evaluators.
Check, I should be able to share my screen, right? Because I can see I have the option here. So
yes, you can. You want to test it now in it?
Host disabled participant screen sharing. So
sorry, say that again, please.
So I receive an error message saying host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, let me see if I can. So what it requires is that for me to make you a host. So I've made you the host.
All right, okay.
And you should be able to share your screen if you wanted to.
Yeah, that comes. Yeah. Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Super. So our sergeant at arms is missing in action at the moment. So we'll have to see if we can start the meeting with a different sergeant at arms. Or Simon, would you like to reminisce your old role?
Yeah, sure. When do you want me to kick off?
I think we are at time now. Just checking if we have everything on the roles front. Yeah, so all the people who are supposed to play one role or the other are here. So yeah, I think we can make a start, Simon.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Trojans. This our first meeting with Flora as president. As we are all familiar with the ground rules, I will not waste time going over them, except maybe during the commercial break, have a strong drink, because I have got some quite challenging table topics for you. And I hope not to catch you out, but to make you think and work like little donkeys. So without further ado, let me pass you on to our president for tonight's meeting, Flora.
Thank you, Simon. And it's a great pleasure to start this new Toastmaster year. So with a new committee, a new team, and the summer that should start. But I think in England it's started to arrive. I'm in France and it hasn't really arrived. The weather is still really bad. But I always loved July, and Toastmaster is actually now giving me a new reason to like July, because it's actually the new year for Toastmaster. I like July for a few other reasons. So first of all, it's when you go in. When I was little, is when I was going on holiday at the sea. So I was part of the people that like to take their holiday in July. It doesn't happen anymore, but that was my childhood. And also what I like as well is it's a start of a new half year. So actually, you have time. You have enough time. You're at the midpoint of the year where you have time to look back at what you have done in the past 6 months and compare to what you wanted to do. And what I like is that you still have time, because when you do that at the end of the year, often you can only see what you have not done. Whereas now, when you do it on a half year, you you can continue. And I think that's great as well for Toastmaster. And I know that Tanuj has chosen a similar theme, so that's perfect. And I encourage everyone, to really reflect where every member is. What do you still want to achieve? What do you want to achieve in this new year? And how can we support you? And that's actually what the committee is willing, wants to do. So we started to spend a bit of time together to think about, what can we do as a committee, how we want to improve the experience for the member. And one thing that also we want to really think your input is on, do we want actually to return back to the church? So it's kind of a difficult question. There's a lot of pros and cons. So we thought at the first step, we'll just send a survey to gauge appetite and to actually see, where everyone stand as a group. And then going, depending on the result, then we'll think about the next step. The other thing I said that I wanted to welcome or to say tonight is that we have a new member. So welcome Satya to the group. So congratulations for joining us on that journey. And I was saying at the start when we were in a small group is actually the first new member of this new year. So that's great. The other thing as well that we'll just spend, if we have a bit of time, is I know that Nishta has an objective of, raising the profile on Trojan and our social media. So I think before the break, she will tell us what plan she has and what's coming in your email soon. With that in mind, I will hand over to the Toastmaster, and I look forward to this evening with you. So Tanuj, please.
Thank you, Ms. President. Welcome, everyone. It's a fabulous evening. The sun's shining. I hope you all are too. So tonight, I have the privilege of being your Toastmaster for the evening. And as you might have picked up on the message on WhatsApp, if you're not on WhatsApp, please contact your BPPR. The theme that I'm running with tonight is reflections. It's apt for numerous reasons, but the one reason that I felt it is appropriate and relevant is because we are officially coming off of the lockdown. And as a famous author, Soren Kierkegaard said, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. So what I want to do today, and since we don't have many speakers tonight, we have some amount of luxury on time. I would be calling each and every one of you, of course, based on the agenda, but I would ask you to share your reflections, your 3 reflections from the last 1 year. Try not to make it very COVID heavy, but share some personal experiences if you could. So with that, let's start the evening and let's also reflect along the way how our year has gone by in the last 1 year. So to kick us off, we of course need to acknowledge the great helpers we have for the various roles. Let me quickly just pop up the agenda on my other screen. Give me one quick second. Sorry. By the way, if you don't have the agenda handy, if one of you could please ping that over in the chat we don't have any guests tonight, so it should be all right. But if anybody wants to see the agenda, it's available there. Right. So first up is our timekeeper for this evening. And as special things can get, this person is debuting with Toastmasters in her very first meeting as timekeeper. So please give a biggest applause possible to Satya, who is starting her Toastmaster journey with us, as Flora just mentioned. And she's also taking great adventure, with the horns by being the timekeeper tonight. So please welcome on stage Satya. So Satya, sorry, I should mention, please come up on stage and share what you would be doing as timekeeper tonight.
Well, yeah, thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, everyone. I would like to give a brief introduction about me. I'm Satya. I'm from India, and I've been here in London for like 2 months, and I'm very new to the club. So this is my first time I'm doing any role, like a timekeeper role. I'll start. Research shows that being more mindful of what's going on right now and living in the present could benefit you both mentally and physically. So let's see how we can use the time effectively. To make use of the time effectively, today I'm going to use my background to track the time. So I use green light, green background for when you are when you reach the lower limit of the time, and you will have amber light when you reach the halfway through it and you still have some time to wrap up, and you see a red background when you reach the end of the time. So this is it. I hope I do my best. Thank you.
Thank you, Satya. Yes, you're already on a great streak here, but why don't you share three of your reflections from the last year with us before you walk away from the stage?
My reflections, I would say that I have learned to deal with the change in the last year because of the lockdown and stuff, and there have been a lot of changes that's been happening. My husband working from home, and it was quite challenging, but I learned to deal with it. And I also learned to deal with fitness school. But I think that I have to keep up the routine for the coming year because either the lockdowns are easing, and it's going to be a different life, I think, when we all go to office, and that's something that I am going to work on.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Satya. All right. Next role that would be helping us out tonight is of grammarian, and our grammarian tonight is Nishtha. Please welcome on stage Nishtha.
Hello, Trojans. I hope everybody is well and looking forward to this cozy meeting tonight. Is anyone a potter here? What if I told you all of you were potters and all of you came with a lot of clay? And by that, I mean, we are all blessed with languages. We are all potters. So tonight, I am hoping to see beautiful use of language. What do you do with the vocabulary, your vocabulary and words, and how you're going to craft beautiful sentences and phrases out of it? So this is what I will be looking out for in the meeting today as your grammarian. And I'm going to set down 2 rules tonight for this meeting. Rule number 1, special mention to the person who will not use very, actually, and basically. These are filler words. You can speak better, write better without these words. So try and avoid very, actually, and basically, rule number 1. And rule number 2, do not start your sentences with so. Can we all follow that rule? Great. With that, I hand back to our Toastmaster. And the word that I want to give you today is fragile. Fragile means something that can be easily breakable, easily broken. So that's the word we are going to use today. And back to our Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Nish. Would you like to also share your reflections from the year gone by?
Year gone by, I fell into a hole. I didn't know what to do with myself. It was a strange year. It threw a lot of challenges professionally and personally. And then I happened to listen to a podcast about Apollo 13. How many of you actually think it was, see, I broke my own rule by using the word actually. It failed to make to the moon. But I think it did not fail to land on the moon. It succeeded in splashing down safely. And that podcast and that story has given me hope. And since then, I have decided to challenge myself by trying things that have either scared me or I always thought were above my potential and capability. So I took up Rubik Cube earlier this year, and I'm now looking forward to learning to skate. So all the things that I didn't think I could do, I've decided to do them. So this was the biggest takeaway and reflection from the last year. Thank you.
Great, Nish. Really, really wise words. And yes, we all should challenge ourselves with things that we feel scared of. That's what living is all about. Moving on to our third helper, who's going to be supporting us tonight. It is Momo, who's going to be our Hawk Master for tonight. Momo, are you there? Sorry, can't.
Yes, I am.
Hey.
Hi.
Yes, please come on stage and share what you'd be helping us with as Hawk Master tonight.
Thank you, Toastmaster. And today I will be in a Toastmaster. There are plenty of roles and skills that we can improve. And as a Hawk Master today, I'll be mainly focusing about how well do we listen. And I'll take the note and I'll be asking the question at the end of the meeting.
And
just before end of the meeting, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, and my apologies, I think you are also our GE tonight. So do you want to also express what you'd be covering as a general evaluator?
As a general evaluator, it will be my first time taking the role, and I'll be, I have print out the note, but I will look into it and I'll look at the checklist and I'll get back with that.
Okay, great. And do you want to now share your 3 reflections from the year gone by?
Yeah, sure. Especially last year, my really bad habit was if some people is angry with me, I still turn angry with them again. So last year, working in the healthcare, I realized how fragile life can be. So I try at my best not to be the kind person, no matter what other people is throwing at to me. So that was my whole year project, and I work on it. And I think at the end of the year, I realized, okay, I did well. So I'm happy with that.
Great.
And thank you,
Momo. All right, so now let's go to the body of the meeting, which would be about the speeches. But before we do that, I have to share my reflections. So I'm not gonna, reveal it all together. I would share one reflection of mine at a time. My first reflection, and it's a very common theme, is around health, is that my body can shrink or expand based on my wishes. So in this 1 year, I have seen myself lose 12 kilos and gain them back quite gainfully. And I'm back to, of course, go down on that journey. But important thing is, I know that this is possible, which I never gave enough attention to in past. So that's my first reflection. And with that, let's start the speech routine. And our first speaker tonight is Annette. To evaluate Annette's speech, we have Dil. So please welcome on stage Dil to share Annette's objectives and what she'll be talking about. Dil Limbu.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Trojans. And no guest today. Good evening, everyone. Today, Annette is giving her 4th speech in her dynamic leadership pathways, which will be for her to present the same speech or a new speech, incorporating all the feedbacks that she has received from the previous speech. So her speech title is Your Personality, Personality Color and How It Impacts Your Communication Style. Thank you.
Sorry, I was talking to myself on mute. Thank you, Dil. Please welcome on stage Annette with her speech entitled Your Personality Color and How It Impacts Your Communication Style. Please welcome Annette.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Trojans. The title of my speech tonight is What's Your Personality Color and How Does It Impact Your Communication Style? And you might think, what does color have to do with personality? And I come to that in a second. But first, I wanted you to imagine two different scenarios. In the first scenario, you talk to someone and you just seem to click with that person. You find it very easy to agree on common outcomes. And in general, the flow of the conversation is really good. On the other hand, though, sometimes you talk and your counterpart just don't seem to agree. You just don't seem to talk on the same level, or actually the outcomes that you find, they seem to be very fragile. And while there can be many different reasons as to why communications in some occasions are more successful than others, the chances are that your personality and the way you communicate versus that of your counterpart have a very dramatic impact on that. So one of the theoretic frameworks that was developed to explain that further is the color insights model, which is based on the work of the Swiss psychoanalyst Carl Jung. He categorized people's personalities according to two axes. One is introversion versus extroversion, with the introverts gaining their energy from being by themselves and in a quiet setting. Extroverts, on the other hand, they tend to thrive in a group setting and by being around other people. The second axis is thinking versus feeling, with the thinkers being quite analytical and tend to prefer facts and information, versus the feelers, who value personal relationships and emotions more. So along those two axes then, you have 4 different personality types, which you can see in the slide here. The fiery red persons are the extroverted thinkers. Their motto is, let's do it now. Those are the born leaders and the typical alpha personalities. They're quite competitive and proactive. They like to establish their agenda and get everyone to follow them along. Red persons, they're not very good listeners. And they can be quite frustrated if someone doesn't actually want to follow their agenda. Then we have the sunshine yellow persons, the extroverted feelers. Those are the social butterflies. Their motto is fun, fun, fun. And they like to be the center of attention at every party. Yellow persons, they can be very motivational and inspirational for teams. They're very creative personalities who come up with loads of new ideas. Yellow persons, they don't bother too much with details or following processes. And they have always new exciting opportunities come up. So they find it quite difficult to follow through on certain tasks. Then we have the earthy green persons, the introverted feelers. They are the perfect team players because they're very inclusive and like to consider everyone's opinion. Green persons, they tend to avoid conflict and place harmony over anything else. Also, once they lose their trust in someone, it's almost impossible to establish that again. And finally, we have the cool blue persons, the introverted thinkers. They are very analytical and tend to value information and details over anything else. Cool blue persons, they can be seen as quite distant because they don't like to share a lot of personal information. Also, they don't like to be rushed and they hate when someone pressures them towards making a decision when they feel they didn't have the time to consider all of the circumstances. There's no color better than the other. And we all have those 4 different color energies inside us. But it's our personal preference and the prevalence of certain colors that makes our personality unique. So why does this matter? Simply because being mindful of your own personality and how you prefer to communicate makes it easier to understand how a different person ticks, and then you can align your communication style accordingly. To give you an example, as you might have guessed, my color personality is an earthy green one, an introverted feeler. And I also have a tendency towards blue. I once had a manager who was as yellow as a person could be. And while I found it very entertaining to be around her, she was so well connected and always came up with those new ideas that I found it very difficult to follow through on all of those projects. And also because I like to work with a high attention to detail. So being mindful of her communication style and mine, I think we both adjusted in a way that we knew how the other person would communicate and prefer to work. And in the end, we found that we worked very well together because our 2 colors were complementary. So to conclude, tonight, I wanted to challenge you to think if you're a fiery red, a cool blue, a sunshine yellow, or an earthy green person. And also be mindful of what's the color energy of the persons in your surroundings. By adjusting your communication style, you're very likely to make your interactions more meaningful. You find it easier to connect to people. You probably are going to be more persuasive. And you also find it easier to drive teams towards working to a certain outcome. Thank you very much, fellow Trojans.
Thank you, Annette, for a fabulously insightful speech. Madam Timekeeper, can we please get 1 minute on the clock so that everybody can share the feedback for Annette's speech through chat or through Basecamp? I would recommend Basecamp because it's all members here. And I think next time we would try to ensure that we share the Basecamp link ahead of the meeting. That way everybody has it ready to share. 1 minute, please.
Sure.
Thank you, Satya. Great. Now, the second reflection that I would like to share with you all is that good things happen when you say no. In the past 1 year, I have gone through certain experiences in my professional life where I felt that enough is enough and I have to say no to it. It's the first time in my career I had entered such a scenario. And knowing our life and our mental health is so fragile, we need to take care of things. And I decided to say no, and good things have started to happen ever since. So my reflection was sometimes saying no is the right answer. And I could also say I said yes to a no. With that, I would like to bring upon our second and last speaker for tonight. And that's Irina. To evaluate Irina's speech, I'd like to welcome Sumit to come up on stage and share Irina's objectives and speech title. Please welcome on stage, Sumit.
Hi, everyone. So Irina is starting her new pathway for motivational strategies. And the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. And the speech entitled Get That Promotion, and the speech and the timings for Irina is between 5 and 7 minutes. So the speech entitled Get That Promotion, I present to you Irina Ursu.
Thank you, Sumit. I'm not sure. Irina, are you online right now?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
she is.
Do
Hey,
I start
Irina.
now? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Please welcome on stage, Irina. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you're around. So thank you.
Good evening, Trojans. Recently, I've been promoted. And looking back of what happened, I would like to share some of the lessons that I've learned in the past year. Starting with how many times I've asked for the promotion, and to be more precise, how many times I've asked for pay rise. It was 3 times, and the third time I've got it. I've got a promotion in the first place, but it was just in terms of what I want to do in the company, not in terms of how much I want to earn in the company. So that's a different story. Therefore, in this evening, I want to share a couple of lessons that I've learned trying to get that pay rise that I deserve within my company. So the first step I want to share with you is that you need really to do your research. And what I mean by research is looking there at what other companies pay you for the same job that you are doing. This bit of information, it really help you understand where you're sitting in that scale pay. It is the bottom, middle, or closer to what is the average paid by the other companies. Once you've done that, the next bit of research is looking there and see if the company is ready to give you that pay rise. Analyze your company, analyze the situation of what's happening around you, and ask yourself, is the company prepared to do that? And just to give you an example, last year in June, I've asked for my first pay rise. And everything was good. I've done good results during my job, so I thought, yeah, I could get that. But what I forget to look at is that everyone was getting into lockdown situation. The industry was uncertain. We didn't know if we're gonna continue with the project that we have. We didn't know that if we're gonna get more projects for our clients. So it was a very uncertain situation. So I've asked that question at the wrong time. Now, let's say you have your company understanding and where they're sitting in the market. The next bit of research you want to do is, if the answer it will be no, they can't afford to give you a pay rise, can you accept other compensation for your employer? And what I mean by that is, let's say they might be willing to give you some travel expenses, or they might want to pay some of your rent. It might actually help you with your money situation. So are you willing to get that other bits of compensation from your company? Think about it and write it down if this is something that you can accept, or maybe not. Now you have a picture of your research. You're moving now to the step 2. And the step 2 is creating memorable events. And to understand this section is you have to ask yourself why you deserve the promotion. So doing that, you can look at how is your performance at the minute, where you want to be, where you're sitting at the minute, and how you can develop that performance so everyone in your company are aware of it. Your initiative within the company, your results within the company. And to give you a bit of example of how I've tried to build that memorable event, I've looked into my company and I found that my focus within the company, apart from trying to get the job done in time, within the budget, within the health and safety standards, the main aspect of it is the awards. So everyone within the company is focusing in getting high rating within industry. And I'm working in construction on a building site. So one of our biggest awards for the site is the Considered Construction Scheme. So you can understand in what this award consists is basically an external assessor come to our site and they evaluate our site on depending on 5 categories. And this is how we engage with the community, how we're doing with the project, how we value our employees, environment, quality, and all of these sorts of aspects. So the scoring for the company, not for the company, for the scheme is 50 points. Without the innovation point, because they're so hard to achieve, you can get 45 as maximum. Our company, the minimum they trying to get is 42. And you need to have 2 visits per year on this project. And on the first visit, you normally get a low scoring. And not many of our employees can get to a high scoring. So I've arranged my first visit with the scheme. I made sure that everything in terms of these 5 compartments are achievable on our site. And my first scoring was 44 out of 45. And everyone in the company was talking about it because nobody so far did achieve a high scoring of 44 on their first visit. And even now, after 6 months I've done the assessment, they're still talking about it. So I created a memorable event, and this is just one of it. There are many of those, but just to give you an example. So once you have the second step, memorable events, you have to look into the third step. And the first step is actually booking your evaluation with your manager. Ask for that pay rise. Once you've done your research, you create those memorable events and you are there to put that on the table. In my first attempt to get a pay rise, I failed to do that. I've got my promotion into getting to the position I wanted, but I couldn't get the salary because I didn't do all of these steps that I've learned on my third attempt of doing it. And when I was sitting in that meeting with my manager, I said to him, I'm doing this and this and that, and I think I deserve this amount because this and this and that. So to summarize all of it, if you are preparing to get a pay rise or you're thinking in the future, do your research, speak to your manager, and create those memorable events to make sure you can achieve the pay you wanted to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. Very actionable speech. Before we let you go from stage, would you like to share 3 different reflections aside from what you just shared has played out in the last year?
I didn't really reflect that much. I will be honest with you. My life is kind of a mess at this stage. So I think I should plan a minute with myself to reflect on what's happening. But so far, apart from my, let's say, reflection on how and why did I fail to get the pay rise in the first step, I don't think I have any.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Irina. Madam Toastmaster, can we please, Madam Timekeeper, sorry, can we please get a minute on the clock to capture feedback for Irina's speech. And by the way, I love the teddy bear at the back, Irina. I think I have got a sibling of that in my home as well. So. Thank you, Sathya. Okay, now that our speeches are finished, we would dive into the evaluations for those speeches. Our first speech, which was delivered by Annette, would be evaluated. Oh, I should stick to my word. Annette, would you like to come back on stage and share your 3 reflections? Sorry, I couldn't cover that when you were on stage earlier.
Yeah, sure. So my first reflection is that family is really very important and everything, basically. And obviously it's not the same seeing someone on Zoom or FaceTime than in real life. So yeah, and I really miss that. That brings me also to the second reflection, that just don't take anything for granted, because usually I would just take a 1-hour flight and then I'm with my parents and my friends, and that obviously wasn't possible right now. So yeah, you just realize like really how fragile all of those ideas were that we built our modern life upon, right? And the third reflection is also for me that a life without travel is kind of a less quality life for me. I know that's a first world problem, but I really, I'm not a person who tends to enjoy staying in the same place for too long, and I need to move around and travel. And I got quite frustrated just staying at home most of the time.
Thank you, Annette. Very relatable, very relatable reflection. Thank you. Okay, let's dive into the evaluations. So our first evaluator for tonight is Dil, and Dil is evaluating Annette's speech. So please welcome on stage, Dil.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening again, fellow Trojans. Thank you, Annette, for the wonderful speech. I learned quite a bit about myself. I knew I was an introvert, but I did not know whether I was a feeling or a thinking. I think I come in between those two. I'm cautious, but I love sharing things and all. So today, Annette gave us a speech about personality, colors, and how it impacts the communication style. And she has told me to watch out for her hand gestures and the flow of speech and the pace. I would say she did pretty well with her hand gestures. She made good use of them, for example, showing the 2 and going introvert and extrovert, like those kind of gestures was quite useful for us to get engaged with her body language. And I would say the pace was smooth. She could have paused a little bit more, for example, when she was asking questions like, so why does this matter? She could have paused a little bit longer for us to digest or for us to think about it. She also had good use of prop, using only one image on the slide. So I thought that was very useful for us all to look. and check out where we stand in that color wheel. One thing I would recommend her is, I think it's the camera angle. Her hands seem to show a little bit bigger. So I would recommend her next time to stand a little bit further and then have her camera in the eye view level so that we can see her there, and then her hands to be a little bit more natural so we can see her hands in a more natural way rather than the very big hands in the front. Another thing I would recommend for her is to improve her vocal variety a little bit. When she said enthusiastic for the color yellows, you could have sounded more of enthusiasm or demanding, those kind of varieties in her speech. In her following coming out speech, she could incorporate those. Overall, I would say she did a fantastic speech with well-structured, good paced, and good conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dil, for a cracking evaluation. And I concur with Dil, sometimes less is more. And, you know, that single image was really powerful. Moving on to the next evaluator for tonight. So Irina's speech is being evaluated by Sumit Singh. Please welcome on stage Sumit Singh. Sumit, you're on mute at the moment.
Am I audible now? Hello, everyone. Members, Trojans, and I don't think there is any guest, and Irina, I would say. Thanks a lot, Irina, for this wonderful speech. I think the title of the speech was very welcoming and very informative for me when she said, like, get that promotion. I think that was one of the first hook that anyone can have in any speech. So I was really looking forward to what is coming out next over here. And then Irina started to tell a story about how she got the promotion. So that was another thing which took me in and kept my interest going on. And she also mentioned the step 1, 2, and 3. So those were also a very positive things within Irina's speech. So I was really hooked on to learn about all the steps that Irina has done and probably try to incorporate those in my own salary negotiations. Some of the things that I would tell Irina to as a suggestion would be to improve the camera angles. She was making some hand gestures. I could see those, but it wasn't very visible. So I would tell her to have the camera at a bit of a distance so that we are able to see those, see her hand gestures. Second thing I would tell Irina as a suggestion would be, there were a lot of details towards the middle of the speech. There was those 5 categories, those stores over there, and in the construction industry. So there were a lot of things packed into that speech, which was kind of distracting to me at times. My suggestion would be, if this speech has to be about getting that salary promotion, try to minimize the details that people would want to know about it, and try to keep it as short and sweet as possible in terms of the details, and not having things which are related to construction industry over there. Finally, Irina also had summarized her all the steps that she had mentioned within the speech. So I think that was quite nice, and we should all be learning from those things as a master communicator who has delivered her whole pathway before, that we have a very short attention span, and summarizing all those speeches gets us back into the groove, even if we are lost a bit of time somewhere. I think that's that's everything that I have from my evaluation. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sumit. Before you sit down, would you like to share your 3 reflections? Sorry, oops, I did it again. I think I need to come back to Dil as well. So Sumit, over to you.
I think the first reflection for me is hope. Last year has shown that human spirit has an indomitable, human spirit is indomitable. We can power over any situation at any point of time. And also I have gathered hope from the nature as well. For last many years, I haven't really seen the blooms in the spring. I haven't really noticed those things. But in last year, I was able to see those green shoots emerging, and within a week, like the whole tree was green. So those are the sort of things which had given me a lot of hope that things do change. It takes a bit of time. Second thing, which is a reflection for me, is don't trust the politicians at all. Any which country that they are in, never trust the politician. I used to think Indian politicians are the scumbags, but in last year, I've seen politicians all over the world have been going all over the place, and they have shown themselves to be even bigger asses, I would say. Third thing I would say is keep checking with friends and your family. You never know, like even a small checking in with the family or friends would be very helpful to them, because they might be in a very difficult situation. They may not be saying those things to you, but every little helps in these difficult circumstances. And as a community and as a friend or as a family member, we can help each other just by doing those small deeds. I think that's it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Very, again, very relatable thoughts. And yes, I do share the emotions about politicians as well. Over to Dil. Dil, your 3 reflections from the past year.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. For me, I would say it's, as Sumit mentioned, to check up on family and friends often, as you will not know what they are going through. It is important to realize that to have someone who also you connect to them and they also connect back to you, you feel like you are something. I mean, like there's someone for you out there, and we are there for them as well. That kind of, it's more to do with, I would say, to take care more of your mental health as well, as as your physical health. Because I started jogging right before, just in time for lockdown. I did not stop jogging, but I continued jogging. So I would say exercise is very important for improving your mood. And also in lockdown, you're stuck at home and pretty much you feel very lazy. And exercise just pretty much boosts your motivation and allows you to, you feel like you can do it. Your day is going to be all right. Those kind of feelings. The other thing I would say is patience, to be more patient with yourself and to be more patient with everyone around you. Sometimes it can get really frustrating with some people, but just to breathe a little bit and then just to be more patient with the people around you. I'd say, yeah, and stick to your routine. Stick to your daily habit or daily ritual, daily routines that that takes care of your overall well-being, physical, mental. Read, jog, exercise, cook, clean, or whatever. Stick to your routine. Don't be lazy. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Really wise words again. Thank you so much, Dil. I almost feel like going back to the recording of this meeting and noting down all the nuggets of knowledge that have been shared. It's break time. and we can take a comfortable break. I think, would you like to finish early or have a longer break? Just hands up for finish.
I just thought before the break we could hear from Nishta on
oh, yes.
initiative and what she has planned for us, just as a small introduction. As well.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Nish.
Thank you, Flora and Tanuj. Could I ask everybody to come off mute? I have a few questions to ask. Right. How many of you know that Trojans has any social media channels? Please raise your hands or just say yes or no.
Yes.
How many of you can actually name at least 2 of them, and that bars previous committee members?
Instagram.
Okay, Momo. So which channels do we have?
Instagram.
Twitter.
We don't have Instagram, but we do have Twitter. Okay.
LinkedIn.
Sorry, which one?
LinkedIn.
Yes. How many of you have actually seen posts about your club on those social media platforms? Sumit, can you tell us when was the last time you saw a post on Trojan social media, any platform?
To be honest, I'm not very active on social media, so I'm not the right person to ask those questions.
Okay, great. So I'm breaking my own grammar rule today. Just everybody knows I'm the new VP PR here in the committee, in the meeting today. Okay, I needed to first of all understand how visible we were, and I had to start with our club before I asked others or expected others to know about Trojans. So it looks like a lot of work has been cut out for me. I wanted to just tell you that you would be getting a survey, a very short survey. I promise it won't take more than 3 minutes of your time. You just have to answer 5 or 6 questions. And that gives me an idea about how you would like to learn about the future activities about your club, how visible, whether you are okay to be visible on your club feed or not. So expect that survey, please fill it up. That's all I wanted to request all of you. And if you do that, it will help me formulate a policy for our club as your VPPR. Thank you.
Thank you, Nish. And completely back that idea. And, I think many times I've mentioned all of us, we form a chain in a network. So the connections we make with each other, they matter. And the more we spread the word about our club or about Toastmasters on a wider scale, it would bring in more people, which benefits not just us, but others as well. So do support this initiative. All right, I think we can comfortably take a break for 10 minutes and reconvene at 35 minutes past 8 o'clock. And when we come back, there is another fun piece from Momo, very similar to Nishta's, and we'll cover that in the break time, after the break, sorry.
Yeah, so apologies everyone, I've just arrived. Sorry, I forgot I had a work plan.
That's okay, Jackie. We're so glad to have you here.
All right, it's lovely to be here.
It's a shame we are taking a break right now, but we'll.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. No worries at all. Yeah. We have a 10-minute break, is it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll eat my dinner and I'll come back in 10 minutes. Thanks a million.
Yeah. See you in a bit. I'm just sticking around if anybody wants to chat.
Yep.
Hey. So quickly, Momo, it will be good if you can maybe pull up the agenda at your end for the next meeting. That way you can, sort that out.
Sure.
Dil, I'm loving that posters, banner, whatever that showpiece is. I'd be interested to know what's written on that. I must comment, by the way, your room has become much chicer since you moved away from London, so it's serving you well.
It's all right. It says good things come to those who wait, or those who are willing to get up and get shit done.
Oh, very nice.
I liked it, so I bought it.
Yeah, could you take a picture of that and maybe share on the group?
Yeah, sure, will do.
Yeah, thank you.
Now?
Anytime, no rush.
Will do. And what are we doing?
Well, will you be okay if I use this picture for one of the posts on social media with you in the frame and with that awesome message?
Huh?
Yeah.
Did I send you a picture of that?
No, maybe I can take a picture of the screen and use it.
Is it high resolution enough? Sorry, for me it was quite grainy. I couldn't.
It is, but
really...
maybe if she steps back and maybe also carries her laptop with her.
Oh yeah, I can see it well now. Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
No, Dil Nisha wants you in the frame.
So me on the frame.
Yes.
Okay, the only problem here is my wires. Okay, let me see, what can I plug off?
Yeah.
That off.
So if I'm reading Nisha's mind correctly, I think the quote relates to you very well, Dil.
Yeah. I'll be trying new things, and it's always fun to try new things.
Oh yeah, please do. We need it. I'll be back.
Crap. Does that help?
Just stay there. Sorry, give me
10
seconds. 10 seconds are quite long, but I'll take the liberty and push you. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Just all over the. I'm just wondering what topic Simon has for us.
Oh, you do?
I'm wondering what table topics you have for us.
That would be telling.
I would say, Dil, you don't want to know.
Is it? Okay. I'm worried now.
No. I mean, don't be worried. The thing is, I just want to give questions that are going to get people to think, and to perhaps put them under a little bit of stress and pressure. But not in a bad way. Just to think, WTF? Okay. What am I going to say? That's all I really want to have happen, because I really don't care about the answer. That's irrelevant. The thing is, it's just getting people to speak for 1 minute at least.
Depends on your subject, Simon.
Irina, I said some of them are going to be a little bit challenging, but say just take that face value. Just think, okay, this is a whole lot of rubbish. I'll talk about something else. I'm quite happy for that.
Anuj, could I take liberty and add a couple of things to my reflections? Honestly, I hadn't thought about the question, and I couldn't actually talk about the things that I've actually done, and I'm extremely proud of them. I know I've already had my chance, but I'd just like to add a few things if that ends up inspiring anyone, or if anyone knows about those things or those hobbies, and if they could actually give me advice, that would be great.
Do you want to do that when everybody is around?
It's pretty much
not
cozy
yet.
meeting, so maybe I'll wait for them. No problem.
Yeah, sure.
One of them is quite relevant to some of the people here, so it would be fun.
You're creating a lot of suspense.
No, there's nothing suspenseful here. But
so I'm curious to know, were we able to reach out to the two guests who had signed up. Sorry, Sumit is not here right now. I don't know if that came up in the meeting on Monday.
No.
We were wondering about the forwarding of email. It looks like since it has worked. So I don't know if you've done someone, if anyone has done something, but I've received email.
I think Nishtha and I were in that place in that website. When was it? 2 weeks ago when we spoke, Nishtha? That time we did check a few of the emails, but Flora, since you said that you didn't want the forwards to be set to you, I didn't do it. So if some
Okay, well, it's just because I've received now the email from the I've received email from the VPM, so I didn't know if you'd done something. Or...
Okay. Sumit linked your email to the account.
Okay.
I think, is it for VPM? Yeah, I think Sumit did.
Okay, yeah. So I think it looks like now I received the email. I hadn't had a chance to go to the inbox before.
You might want to link the VPM one as well. No, VP, wait, not VP, President one as well.
What I wanted to do is to have it in a separate page. So, you know, when you have several mailbox on your iPad or phone, and just have it there.
That
like
you
that.
can.
Yeah.
So you can have it that way, yeah.
I know I had just like a bit of a nightmare with my IT. So yeah, I haven't managed to, but I forgot my charger for my personal laptop and I can't find the same charger here in France. So at the moment, and all of my password, everything is set up on this computer.
Oh.
And then my
I hope
phone
your
was
work
not
is not getting
working.
impacted.
Sorry?
I hope your work is not getting impacted because
no, so my work laptop is working, but I try to separate. And yeah, and then my phone was not working for a while. So yeah, so I'm catching up.
Tanuj, I have a question for you.
Please.
You removed yourself from the forwards on VPPR emails. And
I believe I never had them.
No, actually, we did that together when we.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that way, yes.
Something changed, and I am not able to log in again. So I'm wondering whether this change and removal of emails has caused any reset issue. I said to Flora that I would send her a request. I was trying to reset it today, and I couldn't do it. So I don't know.
You mean to say
which
to the
email I should
info
enter.
mailbox? The email address to enter is the info@trojanspeakers.org.uk.
And this is where the reset link will be sent?
Yes.
And who will get that?
So there is a dedicated mailbox for info.
So who should I contact to help me with that reset? Because if I don't have access to that, that means I can't reset.
No, you can. So much like how you are accessing your VPPR mailbox, you can access the info mailbox as well.
So info is okay. I get that.
So it's like the catch-all. That's what's generally out in the public space.
Yeah.
But again, you know, the committee can decide how they want to structure everything. One question I do have is, I know we are on time, is who do you want to be the gatekeeper for all the calls? Because those calls are still coming to me. I'm happy to field them, but Flora and company, you need to determine.
Sorry, for the call for what?
So, for example, on the website right now, it's my phone number that's published because the club doesn't have a landline number, so to say. The calls go to one person in the club. So it can be VPPR, it can be VPM, it can be president, or it can be Sergeant Dams. I mean, so it'll be good if we can take that decision in the next committee meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think let's make a start. We are past our time limit. Momo, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I know it didn't feel much of a break because all of us were here pretty much. I would like to bring to stage Momo, who has some important club business to talk about. So please welcome on stage, Momo.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Yeah, our next meeting will be on 28th of July, and there is only one role is filled up for the moment, which is Toastmaster role, and all the roles are still open. So yeah, if any of you during the meeting, if any of you would like to sign up for the meeting, please pin me, please message me.
Momo, just a quick idea. Amit tried this before. I think it works better if you use the time to actually put people on the spot and ask them what role would they like to do next time.
Oh, sure, that's good. So let me go ahead with that.
Yeah, of course, and you know, your availability can always be subjective. We're not saying that you have to turn up compulsorily, but it'll be good if you
it's
could.
better, yeah.
So maybe let's open the floor first. If people want to, you know, nominate themselves for a role first, and then we can go around the table if anybody has not taken up a role.
At the moment, only Linda has signed up for the role. So let me ask, let me go back to my screen and let me pick up the person who is on the top of the list. And let me ask like if you want to take any of the roles. So I have got first one in my list is Simon. So Simon, please, if you could kindly come to the stage and let me know if you would like to participate in any of the role for the next meeting.
Grammarian.
Sure. Thank you, Simon. And I have got next one is Annette. Hi, Annette. Can I please call you for on the stage?
Hi.
Hi. Next meeting will be on 28th of July, and if you will be attending the meeting and if you would like to participate in any of the roles.
Yeah, I think I can. I'm happy to be an evaluator.
Evaluator, sure. Thank you, Annette.
Thank you.
And next person I've got is Dale. Hi, Dale. Can I please call you on the stage, please?
Okay. Let's see. I would say, what roles is there? Table topics or maybe
table topics, evaluator.
Table topics or evaluator.
Sure.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Momo.
Thank you so much. And the next person will be. I've got Flora.
I can do evaluator.
Evaluator. And only one person has signed up for this speech. So there is still 3 more speech slots are still open. If anybody want to still participate in the speech, and you can also take the role for the speech. Yeah. And the next person I've got on my list is Arena. Hi, Arena.
Hiya. I'm not sure about the roles. I mean, even when the speech was very spontaneous, and I was about to drop off today because of something else, but I've got here. So unfortunately, I can't commit to anything.
That's okay.
But I'll do my best.
Sure, that's okay. Thank you. And the next one I've got is Nishta. Hi, Nishta.
Hi, Momo. I think I'll go for a speech.
A speech, sure. That's great, thanks. And the next one I have got is Satya. Satya is already signed up for the speech. So the next person I've got is Sumit.
I might go for a table topics master.
Table topic master.
Momo, how many speeches do you have now?
I've got 2 speeches and there's still 2 more speeches available.
All right, thank you.
And the next person will be our Toastmaster, Tanuj.
Hey there. Sorry, I got dropped off for a second. I would also accompany Nishtha and deliver a speech next time.
Sure. Thank you. That's great. And there's one more question I have got. Is there any guest that can they take for any role, or if they can participate in any role? I'm not so sure with that.
Jackie can participate as she's a paid member of another club. She can be a GE, sure, or she can participate in any other roles.
Sure, thank you. Hi, Jackie. Can I call you on the stage, please, for a while?
Sorry, what do you want me to do? Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, there are different roles available in our next meeting, which is on 28th of July. So if you would like to participate in any of the roles,
do you know this? My head is. I probably would prefer if you could leave me off for the next one. Sorry, I've missed all of today. I think probably because I'm looking for work. If I get a job, I'll definitely go for a role. But my mind is too. I just had the last week at somebody in my house for COVID, so I just, yeah. Sorry to be saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you so much. And
sorry,
we enjoy having you here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I definitely want to be here. Sorry. Yeah. It's been a bit manic the last week.
Thank you so much. And back to Toastmaster, please. And thank you, everyone. And back to Toastmaster, please.
Thank you, Momo. And I hope we, make this part of our routine every meeting and try to ensure that we fill up the roles ahead of time. And if you don't want to feel awkward next time, go ahead and book your roles yourselves on EasySpeak. And if you don't know how to, please reach out to any of the committee members. Now, before we jump into the fun part of the evening, which is on table topics, I have my last reflection to share. Very much in tune with what I said last time for my reflection, where I learned to say no. I shouldn't say I learned to say no, rather it was a big no to say. Similarly, I learned to say yes in the last year. And I had the greatest honor possible to be part of this club's committee and be part of the committee as a president. But I had to say many yeses, no matter how good or bad they were. But it was a great experience, and I promote that idea. Good things happen if you say yes as well, because you never know where it might lead you to. With that, I would like to bring upon our table topics master for tonight. So please welcome on stage Simon with Gamma. Simon, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Tanuj. For those who don't know, table topics is a chance to practice your informal speaking, making things up on the cuff and as you go along. I have an idiosyncratic style in the sense that I will pick the volunteer first, and then I will give them the question. I'm not really bothered if you answer the question. My main concern is that you can stay on stage for at least 1 minute, make something up, bluff, talk absolute rubbish. I don't really care. But it's a chance for you to practice being put on the spot. And some of these questions are going to be tricky, because in life, we never get the questions that we want to be given. We get the questions that we are given, and we have to deal with them. So, with that in mind, my first victim is Annette. Annette, why do we like humorous people?
Sorry, I've got a visitor around here. Can you give me 1 second, because he wants to watch something?
Can I just ask while we're waiting, have you said what the word of the day is, please?
Fragile.
Fragile. Thank you very much.
Okay, sorry. I'm not sure how long it will last. So how should I start?
Yes.
Okay, so why do we like humorous people, right? That was the question. So I think we all obviously enjoy being around people who are fun and entertaining and make us think of the good moments in life, right? So, and a humorous person, I think, that combines all those aspects and is a person who is entertaining, is a good storyteller, tends to bring out the best in people, or also sometimes when situations in life that don't go so well, always tries to see the positive side of it. So, and I think that's very uplifting, especially in a climate as we are now, where there are a lot of negative things around us, right? So I think to have someone who constantly reminds you to see the positive sides of it and see the bright side of life, I think that's why simply we prefer to be around humorous people.
Flora, what does the word integrity mean to you?
What does it mean? What does the word integrity mean to me? For me, it's integrity is important. So it's mean being true to your own value and owning, acting acting with your value in accordance to your value, and for others to know that they can trust you, that you are reliable, and that they can have confidence in you. I don't think there's right or wrong, but I think there is integrity, and as long as you are acting in accordance with your value, and people can trust you, that's what integrity meant to me. For example, when you are in a society, and when we're talking about politicians, can we trust them, and can we really trust them with acting on a good face and acting for the good of the country, not just for themselves. So that's what integrity meant to me. It's a difficult one. I don't think there's one definition, but I think it's an important one, and we can see straight away when people don't have any integrity. I think it's more difficult to actually see when they have. So we can hide that, but it's important. And thank you for asking that question. Thanks.
Nishta, why is language so vague and mathematics so precise?
You do realize that I'm the table topics master, but I'd like to have a go at this question. So the language is vague because every year a panel of people like to have a lot of drama about who to choose as the recipient of Nobel Prize for Literature. It's high society, it's art is civilizing. You can't choose language that is easy to understand. And maths is precise because, for the same reason, you want people who can solve some of the most difficult problems of our society and this planet. I think we like to have our language difficult because we want to come across as civilized and people, intelligent species who can appreciate high art. And maths because we want to build rockets, we want to conquer space, and we want to build colonies. So we need both people so that we can also sip champagne in high posh society meetings, and maths because somebody has to bloody do the work. That answers my question.
Tanuj. What does the response to the English team's defeat on Sunday tell us about the state of the nation?
If anything, the response to the match shows how divided our society has been. We've seen it over and over again, be it the elections for Brexit or the elections of the last president in US or in India, I can speak for. The society is divided to the T, right in the middle. And all of this is happening because we are not communicating with each other as much as we are communicating to the screens. It's embarrassing to say that because right now we are communicating to a screen, but this is a different kind of communication. We are still sharing our ideas. And the reason I say so is it is reflective of our society because there are people who are appreciating how far the English team got to in this tournament, the fact that they got the privilege to play in the finals. And then there are people who are bashing either the team collectively or the people of color because of known reasons. I think it's a reflection of where the society is. And as has been spoken about, what we need to do is we need to accentuate and promote good ideas over not so good ones to make our society or similar events a better thing for us as for the humanity. Some ideas that I can share are that we should promote. I was reading this article in Guardian last week about Lewis Hamilton, and the first adjective that the journalist used was his caramel skin, and I was shocked. Here is an article talking about racism or how a Black person has come so much forward in society, but the first thing she noticed was his color. I think we should stop looking at the color of the skin altogether. And if anybody addresses, be it in good context or bad context, not mention white or black. We are all humans. We all have same 308 bones and red blood flowing through our veins. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Jackie. How will you be celebrating Freedom Day on July 19th?
So Freedom Day, you're talking about the lifting of the coronavirus restrictions, and having experienced coronavirus from my 17-year-old son in my own house last week, I think it's a big mistake. I'm all for freedom of information and freedom from travel, and I am a very relaxed person, but the government is not giving out the statistics that the young people are getting COVID. My son is at a state school, and their sports day was cancelled on Saturday. And when I said to the teacher they should close the school because they're in such a fragile situation at the minute, he agreed with me and said they were very near to that. And nobody is putting that out. My friend, who's been double vaccinated, and her husband, they had a 25-year-old son who was also double vaccinated, got COVID. So what I'm saying is, I think we need to take it very, very carefully. And in my view, it is complete madness. We have enough that people don't wear masks in shops, and I think that should do it. And I also think nobody is safe until everybody's safe. And everyone is blaming the young people, they're spreading it. But I can tell you, with having 3 children, the young people want to be vaccinated. So I will always celebrate freedom and enjoy, but I do think in heavily built up places like London, we need to be very careful. And I have quite good insight into that because my niece is the COVID consultant in London, and she said 1 in 160 people have it. And yeah, so I will finish up on this very fragile, sad state. Thank you.
Sumit, if you were a ransomware attacker, what company or industry would you attack and why?
So if I'm a ransomware attacker, what company or industry I would attack? Mr. Topics Master, friends, if I have to attack any one particular industry for by using a ransomware, I think it would be political industry or the politicians. Because if you would have heard from me at the start of the meeting as well, I'm not in favor of a lot of politicians making those dodgy policies. And this would be my Robin Hood style of revenge, of going back to the politicians, taking their details, putting it out on, rather than asking for a ransom, I would be putting those on out in the open and showing it to the world what exactly they have done in their political life and in their personal life as well, because they have to be role models for us. So if they are not role models, if they are not on those high pedestals, I would try to show that face to the public so that they can be exposed, and that would help, because like some of the better politicians who are very transparent, who have a very good character, they would be promoted, while the politicians which are like politicians who are have a dubious character, they would be thrown off from this political life. So that is my way of going after the political politicians, and that is the area I would like to attack as a ransomware attacker. Mr. Topics Master.
Dill, if you could keep a world leader as a domestic pet, who would it be and what tricks would you teach it to do?
Oh dear. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Topic Master, for that question. Okay. If I could choose a politician to keep as a pet, who and what tricks would I teach him? Oh, to be very honest, I'm not very into this political game or any of these. This is a very hard question. To be honest with you, no matter how bad or they do or how corrupt they are, I personally wouldn't like to keep humans as a pet. That just goes beyond what I value as human. Everyone, they are equal. And to keep someone as a pet is to rid of all their freedom. And it just sounds bizarre, really, very bizarre, to keep a human politician as a pet. So I wouldn't really keep anyone, even though they might have done really bad things to other people, as a pet. I would keep it at that. Thank you, Mr. Topic Master.
My final question is to Irina. Irina, if you see a mirror on television, why can't you see your own reflection in it?
Why I always get the hardest question. Mirror in television, why I can't see reflection? Maybe the first thing that comes to my mind is because I don't have a television. And because I don't have a TV, I can't see the mirror. And because I can't see the mirror, I'm just looking at myself in the mirror on the wall, which is a completely different story. And to get back to the television thing and the decision I took a couple of years ago, and not because I wanted to do it, because I didn't have time to have a TV at home, and because I didn't kind of want to spend lots of money in getting a TV. I think it was the best decision ever, because what you see at TV right now and the amount of craziness you see there is just unbelievable. So I am glad that I can see my reflection on the television, because completely doesn't represent me. Wherever I see there, it doesn't comply to my values, it doesn't comply to my beliefs, and what I see there, I don't want to see in my life. Because normally the best messages that come, they don't come from the TV nowadays. Everything that you see is mainly fake news. Everything that you see on TV now is either bad or very bad. So this is not the society I want to reflect myself into. The reflection I want to see is a positive vibes. I want to see people being kind, positive, taking care of each other, but not the opposite that we see nowadays. Thank you.
And I will now hand you back to our Toastmaster for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Very, very, very insightful table topics, and sometimes very deep ones as well. I would now like to call upon our timekeeper, and I made another mistake by not calling her back when it was time for her to report the speech times. So Satya, could you please do us the biggest favor and report times for both the speeches as well as table topics?
Yes, sure. Yeah. Well, it was all a great speech on interesting topics. So here is the summary of the time report. Time taken by Annette on the speech was 6 minutes 50 seconds. And time taken by Irina was 7 minutes 23 seconds. And here is the report for the table topics. Time taken by Annette is 1 minute 15 seconds. And time taken by Flora is 1 minute 49 seconds. And time taken by Nishtai is 1 minute 6 seconds. And time taken by Tanuj is 2 minutes 36 seconds. And time taken by Jackie is 2 minutes 10 seconds. Time taken by Sumit is 2 minutes 6 seconds. Dil is 1 minute 34 seconds, and time taken by Irina is 2 minutes 5 seconds. So that is it. Okay. Yeah.
Could I point out that the poll that was sent out to everybody was actually not current? It has names that are from the previous meeting.
You're right, Nishtha. Sorry, my apologies. I thought I had updated the poll, but looks like it's not come through yet. Could I request all of you to simply ping me the names of the table topics speaker that you like the most, and or maybe ping it over to Simon. That way, it would not be biased. And so if you could please, so Satya, if you could please repeat all the names one more time. That way, everybody knows who to vote for.
It was Annette, Flora, Nishta, Tanuj, Jackie, Sumit, Dil, Irina.
Please send it as a private message to Simon. Simon, we have 11 people here, so if you think we've got majority, we can close the voting process. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Okay, let's move on to the last evaluator for the evening, and that is Nishtha. So please welcome on stage Nishtha to come up on stage and share the evaluation for the table topics.
Thank you, Sumit. Thank you, Tanuj. I didn't realize I had so many roles with so much writing and note taking. Next time I'll make sure that I don't take up 2 roles that have so much writing involved. But I'll dive in straight away. Most of you gave rhetorical answers. You could have said anything you liked. I'll address each one of the table topics one by one. Annette, why do we like humorous people? It was almost comical to hear a kid cry in the background as soon as you got the question. Perfect timing. You bought time by repeating the question. It was good pace. Recommendation to you, you could have, in fact, used a story or told us about a funny person you know. Flora, what does integrity mean to you? Good pace. You spoke until the amber light. Just one small recommendation for you. You had little eye contact. You could tell us the story and you were looking everywhere on your screen, and it was difficult to actually look at your face and have a sense of eye contact. Tanuj, you spoke like a philosopher. It almost felt as if I was reading a newspaper column. And I commend you for using Lewis Hamilton's example. You nailed the question. Recommendation, you would like to see some body language. Maybe next time you should position your camera in such a way so that we can see your arms or hands. Jackie, how will you be celebrating Freedom Day on July the 19th? Great use of personal stories and examples of family members. Recommendation, it seemed as if you were looking up and your eyes were not level with the eyes of the audience or with our screens. So it felt as if you were looking up and we couldn't have that, we couldn't establish that eye contact with you. And great line to close your answer with, nobody is safe until everyone is safe. Very important message. Thank you. Next up was Sumit. You repeated the question and had a rather long pause, but call it my personal bias. I loved your answer. You wanted to hack into the accounts of the politicians, That was great. I'm sure you will be doing a great service to the nation if you did that. A piece of recommendation, it would have been much better if we had also injected a bit of vocal variety, because this answer would have come out really nice if you had animated your frustration or your dislike and lack of integrity in the politicians. Dill, who would you have as your domestic pet? Which politician would you have as your domestic pet? You thanked the TTM, Table Topics Master, and good use of body language. I could see your hands, so that was great. Recommendation for this particular question or these kind of questions in future? Next time, just write down the name of Boris Johnson and stick it up on your screen. And you could have said, don't tell lies and always comb your hair. So these two tricks you could have taught your pet Boris Johnson. And Irina, why can't you see your own reflection in the mirror on TV? Very clever answer. No ahams, good vocal variety, well-paced delivery. I have no recommendation for you. It was very well delivered. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you very much. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nishtha. And I would like to bring Satya back on stage to share the times for all the evaluations tonight. Please do make a note of the names because the voting would follow straight after.
Well, thank you. Here goes the summary of the time report for the evaluations. Time taken by Dill for evaluating Annette was 2 minutes 48 seconds. Time taken by Sumit for evaluating Irina was 3 minutes 3 seconds. Time taken by Nishtha on evaluating Table Topics is 3 minutes 46 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Satya. And for evaluations, we do have the poll working. So here it goes. Okay, we have the majority votes now. So I'm going to close the poll. Thank you. Okay. So with that, our main affairs for the evening are done, and we would now bring upon the different role players to come and they submit their report for the meeting. So my first person to call upon for this is our grammarian for tonight. So please welcome back on stage Nishtha to share her grammarian report. Nishtha.
Thank you, Tanuj. That's a lot of speech from my side tonight. First up, my apologies. I have not followed my own rules, and should be no excuse to not do that. So that's hypocrisy. My apologies. Secondly, none of us followed both of the rules. I had asked for not starting your sentences with so. One member had 6 so's in 90 seconds of their speech. And the only person who used the word of the day was Annette, and she used it twice. So well done, Annette. I will not give individual names, but I will read out a few words and sentences that stood out to me tonight, which demonstrated clever use of language, good vocabulary, and they were just a pleasure to listen to. Thrive, born leaders, fun, fun, fun. Good things happen when you say no. I said yes to a no. I present to you Irina or Sue. Ask the right question at the wrong time. You have a picture of your research. Less is more. Either bad or very bad. I have saved the best for last. Here I will mention the name of the person who I think, and I'm sure many of you will agree with me, gave us the best lines of this meeting tonight. First reflection is of hope. Don't trust the politicians. Robin Hood style revenge. Indian politicians are the scumbags. And here comes my favorite line. Human spirit is indomitable. Extremely well done, Sumi. You nailed it. Thank you very much for such a beautiful use of language tonight. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nish. And before we close out the meeting, we also have the privilege of having a general evaluator tonight. So please welcome on stage. Oh, sorry, my bad. We need to first, oh, it is both. Momo is both our Hark Master and general evaluator. So Momo, it's up to you if you want to quiz us first or actually share your evaluation first. So I would leave it up to you. So please welcome on stage, Momo. Momo, you're on mute.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I'll first go to the question, then I'll go for the evaluation later. And I'll just ask the question. I'm not going to choose the person. If you know the answer, please come up to the stage and give the answer, please. And my first question, today I have choose most of the questions only from reflection, because I think that we tend to do less, to reflect what we have done. So I have collected most of the questions from the reflection. My first question will be, what was Toastmaster's second reflection? What was our Toastmaster second reflection? Yes, Sumit.
Learn to say no.
Yes, please. Chocolate pass to you. How many colors were present in Annette's speech?
4.
Yes. Another chocolate.
Have we lost Momo?
Maybe this is a trick question. Did I disappear?
He's looking for sweets.
Sorry. What was Dil Tat reflection?
Being patient with oneself and others?
Yes, it is.
I think her third reflection was to keep the routine. Maybe Dil can validate that.
Third?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, routine.
Routine.
I give you back.
So that was my bad.
It's okay, Nish, we can share it.
Very good chocolate. How many social media Trojan have at the moment? 2.
Wrong. 3.
You just said 2.
3.
3. Why was meta precise? That was from table topic, which Anishta has answered.
Sorry, Momo, could you repeat the question?
The question was why meta precise? That was the question. I think there was 2 questions. One was why language was hard or sort of thing, and another one is why meta precise. Is it?
Sorry, I don't think we caught that.
So I'll pass that for that. Maybe I noticed, I take it down wrong. I do apologize for that.
Sorry.
Can you hear me now? I have noted down as why meta precise. That was from the table topic answer, which was answered by Nishta.
So why language is vague and maths is precise?
Yes, so I just take it down from the last one, yeah.
I think my understanding was that the world needs doers, and that's what I believe Nisha was trying to say. So thinkers versus doers. So
Sadly, I don't have answer for that. So if Nishta can let us know why is that correct or not.
So that we can solve the greatest challenges facing the humanity.
Thank you so much. And another question is, if ransom attack, if Sumit can do ransom attack, who he will attack?
Politicians.
Yeah. Well done, Dale. And that's all the questions I've got. Oh, another question I've got, yeah. What comment Nishta has for Boris Johnson?
Don't lie and comb your hair.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Now I'll go for the general evaluation. For the general evaluation, firstly, let me start with the sergeant and arm. Tai has informed me through the test message 2 times that he will definitely attend for the meeting, but sadly he did not turn up. However, Simon has happily took the role, and he don't want to delay the meeting, and he took the role. That was great thing. And we did not start the meeting. Even though on our agenda it is written 7:10, we start 7:30, I believe. So there was 20 minutes late, I would say. And also another one is, and back to the president. I've got so much writing today, so and I can't see what my writing. It is so dark. Can I just mute for a while and let me turn on the light so I can see what my written note is? Sorry about that. I do apologize about that. Sorry. And back to the president, she come to the stage with the action plan to everyone, and with asking for the question to all the club member, what is our goal and where do we want to go ahead within the in this year of our Toastmaster journey, and I believe that's a great start. And she also introduced and welcome to our new club member, Satya. And well done for that, Tora. And back to the Toastmaster, he has given us a theme of the meeting. So we had got the time to plan and prepare, and all are aware what the meeting gonna look like. So that was the great thing. Thank you for that. And coming back to the evaluation, all the evaluator, they did such a great thing, especially providing all the positive feedback and to the speaker. And yes, even though there were suggestions for the improvement, mainly there were positive feedback, and I believe that's a really good thing. And thank you for all the evaluators. Our grammarian has, once she come to the stage, she has clearly explained what will be the word of the day and what to do and what not to do, even though we didn't follow some of the rules. But she come to the stage and she let us know what's the word of the day and what to do and what not to do. And thank you for that, Nishta. And for coming back to table topic, Simon has given us a lot of interesting topics that was exciting, fun, and also, exciting, fun, and humor topic, and we all enjoy it. Thank you so much for that. And guests will also participate in the table topic, and I think it's a way that we make feel welcome to all the guests. And I think we should keep up throughout. We should keep up for that one in all of the meetings. And I think we're finishing late instead of on time. So, but other than that, everything is. Thank you so much for everyone. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Momo. So for fabulously descriptive and actionable feedback as a general evaluator, and I would urge the committee to make note of the inputs she has, and see how we can improvise and build the good community feel that we want to have in this meeting. With that, before I close out, I would like to ask Momo to share her 3 reflections and maybe quickly jump back to Simon because I missed out on his. Momo?
Yeah, my first reflection was, I believe I did said earlier that to trying to be kind to everyone and to be helpful as much as I could. And I did at my best throughout the year, being kind and being gentle to the person I meet. That is what to be kind, and that one is one of my reflections. And another one is staying healthy, keeping especially taking care of our well-being and mental health. Anytime, any moment, we can promise anything what's gonna happen in next minute. So it is very important to take care of our loved one and to ourselves. That's one thing. And another one is staying positive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Momo. And Simon?
My 3 are, excuse me, that wasn't one of them. Dark sense of humor helps me through the pandemic. As you obviously are aware of my sense of humor. Also noticing how fragile people can be and how selfish they can be, especially when it came to stripping the supermarket shelves bare at the beginning of the pandemic without any thought or consideration for people who are unable to shop on their own. And that's in complete contrast to the NHS and other workers who stepped up to the plate and put themselves in harm's way to ensure that we could survive and carry on. And finally, I was introduced to 2 podcasts. The first one is called The Bunker. The second one is called Oh God, What Now? And they both feature a guy called Alex Andreou, who's got the most infectious, warm, deep, bellyful laugh you'll ever hear. And also uses expletives in the right place and in the right context. And I would highly recommend you to, if you don't subscribe to those 2 podcasts, at least give them a listen. I think you'd find them very, very interesting and entertaining. So my 3 takeaways.
Thank you, Simon. And we can't resist now. I'm going to download them straight after. With that, my job for tonight is done. I hand you over to our president, Flora, and thank you, everybody, all the helpers. You did a fabulous job, and I want to just especially commend Satya. You did a fabulous job as timekeeper. As the first time timekeeper, you were brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over to you, Flora.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, what a great evening and such an interesting and different topic in the speech, but also in the TEPL topic. And knowing Simon, I was expecting with so many interesting and funny questions. So that was great. And on the speech, it's great as well to see the same speech we delivered again with great improvement, and great as well to learn, how we can do things practically in our own life. So how to get a pay rise. So I'm sure all of us will try, think about, how to make memorable events so we can negotiate better. So that was really great. Thank you all. So what we'll do just before we actually move to the winner, I just wanted to remind everyone that actually on the committee, we are still 2 vacant positions. So we are looking for a treasurer and we are looking for a secretary. So if anyone wants to participate, it's not too late. You can come and join us for this wonderful year. So in terms of the who has won, so we're not going to do one on the speaker because there was only 2 speakers, but in terms of the table topic, so if I can have a bit of noise just to build up, and the table topic winner was Irina. Well done, Irina. And in terms of the evaluator, the best evaluator was Nishtha. Well done, Nishtha, for your wonderful evaluation. So I will wish you a wonderful evening. Think that we are in July, we are doing a lot of reflection, and please think when you want to do your next speeches, your next role, if you want as well. I think coming up soon will be the contest as well. So start thinking, if you want to participate, things will come very, very quickly. And I know in the summer, some of us will go on holiday, some of us will have other planned after Freedom Day start, but please, hopefully I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the next meeting. Goodbye.
Thank you
very much.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
See you. Bye.